What's up, Vikings fans? Gabe Henderson here with our first episode of Training Camp Memories. As we begin to kick off the Vikings 60th season, we're talking with some of our beloved legends to hear their favorite stories from training camp. Joining me today are some of the best to wear the purple, Pat and Kevin Williams, and the one and only Jared Allen. All right, to kick things off, as the offseason began to wind down, what was you guys' mindset as training camp approached? Of course, you know, '08 was the first year that all three of you guys were together. And '09 was the year that, Jared, you were just saying, if you guys would have won a Super Bowl, that would have been, you know, arguably the greatest team in NFL history. But before all of the shenanigans and everything went down, the season started, what was it like getting your mindset for training camp?
Well, for me, it's kind of that I always dreaded. I always hated training camp with a passion. But I think it's a your mindset goes into it. You know, I guess it depends on where you're in your career. You know, when you're younger, you don't really know much. You're just meat sticking out. When you get older, it's preparation, trying to get your family prepared for you to be gone for 3 weeks and that kind of stuff, making sure you got right. But I think for me, it's just the start of training camp was just kind of that end of that. You know, all the work you put in through the months of getting there, and then going through your process. So for me, training camp was always a process. You know, I had methodical things I wanted to work on day in and day out. And you just had to try to get your mind right for the grind of just, honestly, of tedious boredom.
Tedious boredom. I love it.
Well, I mean, I thought it was a chance. We all got to become a team. I mean, me, Jared, and Pat played together, 6 years, 5 years. So we kind of knew what to expect from each other. But that other guy, those other two guys that we were going to have to rely on, it was a chance to see what they were going to do. If they brought us a new guy in, it was a chance to break them in and see if we could count on them. And a lot of guys, made their way like we had to in training camp. And I mean, it was 3 weeks, but we got a chance to bond and continue to grow closer.
I love go training camp because I was be free from all the stress I had at the house. So I'd go there and I release on everybody else. And I love being around Jared. And I love being around Jared and Ticket all the time because training's gonna like it was so exciting. Because Jared's gonna do some stupid stuff every time, get thrown out of practice or something. So that's make my day. So I love training camp.
Well, I had to try to figure out ways to get my practices cut short like Pat did every day.
Yeah, he only did 9 on 7.
So much because you didn't have to work for the first week.
Yeah, he did 9 on 7. He was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always take care of me now. They take care of me.
We had short yardage goal line because you had to practice.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a story out there that Jared pulled up to camp one year in an RV. What was the thought press? What was the story behind that? And what was y'all's take, Kevin?
Well, I
was
hoping Chili was going to let me. Chili originally told me I could stay in my RV because the dorms suck. Right, the dorms are terrible. First of all, you got like 3 beds pushed together with like broken mattresses. Yeah. It's just a bad deal. So I was hoping I could stay in the RV, and then Chili's like, "Man, you gotta have you in the RV, but you can hang out there. It's just be in for curfew." I was all right, cool. So it was just a cool place for us to go hang out. Fridge was always stocked. Problem was the coaches also knew that the fridge was stocked. And so every time I'd go into the RV, it'd all be full of all the coaches. We couldn't even hardly hang out there, but that was the plan. We had video games on there, karaoke machine, just a place to hang out, detach, get away, and let your mind rest from training camp.
Yeah, like you said, I think your original thought was to get out of the crappy dorm, but it soon turned into everybody's game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody want to hang no more. I said, I can't hang with them. You got the 5 old coaches in there hanging, so I ain't want to hang in the RV no more.
And that was Gage Hall, right? Gage Hall?
Yeah, the wonderful Gage Hall.
Yeah.
How bad was that place?
Hey, man, it's what you make it, man. if you ever stayed in the dorm before, hey, you had to go down the hall. Oh, I forgot about that. We had to go down the hall to use the bathroom.
Yep. Yeah,
it was
terrible. Showers, terrible.
I think our last 2 years we had changed dorms, right? You went to the other dorm?
Yeah, we went to the other stuff that had your own bathroom, air conditioning. Man, we had those crappy fans in the window.
That shit was, Gage Hall was terrible.
Box fans. I mean, you had everything in your room to try to keep cool.
From 08 to 2008 to 2010, you three were part of some of the top defenses in the NFL. I believe during those 3 years, you ranked in the top 10 in almost every category. So how did training camp help build that chemistry on the overall defense? I guess, being at Gage Hall, you got no choice but to just enjoy each other and just build that chemistry. But
yeah, it actually started. So I think it really probably started for these guys back like with Kevin in like 06, 07. Because when I got there in 08, they had 07, they had the number one rush defense again. And so for me, training camp was a little different that time. They were already, the defense was this cohesive unit. I was the guy Kevin was talking about, right? Like, I was the guy I'd played against him. I'd practiced against him because we'd done, shared training camps when I was with the Chiefs. But again, it's understanding how they had a thing. So it was understanding how I fit into there. And I think so for 2008 it was a little different. 2008 was training camp was more work oriented for me as far as trying to fit into that mesh and understanding where not necessarily my role, but you got to understand everybody else's role and how everybody else's plays. For for example, it's understanding like, not that pass rush was a part of it, but like Kevin and I, it took us a few weeks to realize that if Kevin and I were on the same side during a pass rush, any third down stance, that the line can slide directly to us, right? We were kind of getting each other's way. So we actually worked better opposite each other, in a pass rush situation. Understanding how Pat's going to play a block, right? Knowing that just because Pat goes back door on something doesn't mean he's out of his gap. So I don't need to readjust or anybody needs to. And so the linebackers had that. So I think part of that is, for me in 08 was understanding how everybody else was vibing and gelling. And then, once you get to know people on a personal level, that's when, in those 3 weeks, you do get to know people very personally. And so that's when you understand. But from a sport stuff, that first year for me was really, really purposeful. Training camp was actually purposeful to understand how each guy, especially on the front and the immediate, linebackers, how they played. And so where I knew, and then get them used to how I play block. So Ben, Lieber would have to understand how I'm going to play a block so he can fit his gap properly. And then, you have to get that done in a short amount of time so you don't disrupt chemistry.
I mean, we smashed people. I was looking at tape not too long ago, or some little highlight I sent Pat of those 3 years where we were like leading in rush defense. And I'm like, we were smashing people. And then Jared hit me up like a month ago. I think they had the replay of the Green Bay or something game on or something. And he was like, we were hitting people, man. And we had fun. I could say this, my time with you guys and in Minnesota was a great time, man. We had a lot of fun, family atmosphere. And it was fun to go to work. Sundays were fun. Because we wanted to see who was going to outdo each other. And that's from Pat, Jared, B-Rob, Ray, Fred, whoever was out there with us. It was a fun time.
That's what training camp. I had to learn to speak Pat when I first got there. So then when I understood it, man, it was game on. We were able to annihilate people verbally. It was the best. I think that's what probably people don't see is the competitive nature amongst what that, especially the front seven, our entire defense was competitive. But you take Pat, Kevin, and I, like when I came in, the trash talking started immediately, right? It was like, listen, we play the run around here, homeboy. Like it was this, and this. And so it was just challenging and you literally put yourself in a state of mind when you go to training camp. We were so competitive amongst each other. And when we got to game days, there was nobody standing in our way. And then with Dunbar at the helm, you were not allowed to be competitive. And so the cool part too was like we had coaching staff that really took care of us. We joke about like Pat never practicing, but I'll be honest, they allowed us to go through our, whatever our routine was that we needed to get ready. They weren't worried about us. A lot of times you go into training camp and guys try to make the team and they're trying to win each and every day, every moment. Or you get coaches that'll come in and they think that you've got to, every day has got to be like a game like Pratt. And reality is training camp, you're looking for that 10% of what your team's going to be, 90% of it. And, when we were in our heyday, our coach's mindset was the same as ours. We were preparing for opening week and we were preparing to absolutely annihilate people. And that competitiveness, that's what pushed us, not only in our off-season workouts, when we came to camp, but that's where we set most of our goals. And we call each other out. And that was the thing. We're so competitive against each other. You're calling each other out, just like Pat and Kevin said. And then you become good friends on top of that. And your families know each other. And Sunday, you go from from trying to outdo each other in practice and all that to just trying to absolutely, like Pat said, we'd pick the fish and we would just attack him physically, verbally, mentally. Like it was just over for him. They probably did therapy sessions after they got done.
We talk about Jared was talking about training camp a little bit when you guys first met. Any funny stories about when you guys first met that's, I guess, Vikings.com worthy? Or your first memory of Jared or Kevin or Pat? Like any funny stories?
It's crazy. I mean, we went to dinner with Jared before he signed, so it's like, I don't know. It's like it meshed from the get-go. I mean, it's like, I don't know. We showed up to camp. It was business-like. I mean, he showed up with something to prove. I mean, we showed up, you know, we showed up, hey, gave you a lot of money. Let's see what he's going to do. But, I mean, he stepped up. I mean, it wasn't, I don't know. We accepted him right off the bat. I mean, I don't know if he never said he was worried about being accepted, but I think we accepted him right off the bat, man. From the time we talked, we had a face-to-face and talked at dinner. I think we were rolling on the same mindset and on the same page from the word go. And
I was a little jealous because I got a 69 caddy that I've had for years, and I kept in Arizona. And these guys didn't tell me, you know, Pat never, you know, communicated that he had a car shop until after I signed. And these two roll up 63 Impalas. I'm like, son of a, where's the communication, guys? I got a 69 caddy, I gotta fit right in. No communication. I think I came up in my truck or a Volvo or something. I don't drive a Volvo. I drive a truck. No, I think my first impression was I saw both Kevin and Pat coming in the matching Impalas, and I was like, yeah, I mean, there's a certain way people carry each other, right? And then it's like, okay, so that was kind of, you know, Kev, like I said, Kev's reserved, Kevin's yard, you get Pat the jokester, and then you got these. I really wanted to make my mark on the team too. Like, you know, I spend time with these guys, and obviously through OTAs you get to know people, but you know, probably my true personality didn't come out. But I think I took it upon myself to, you know, we do the rookie stuff, so I threw myself in making videos of rookies. So we had a good fun and run at Chili and all that good stuff. So yeah, it was just like Kev said, not really crazy stories. We came in, it was business, and you know, we got up there, we got to work, but there was an instant connection, brother, to trying to dominate. There's something every day you fight. And I think it was 09 or 08. I mean, I had no problem getting into it with Chili, and I were really close. I had no problem, you know, telling where I stayed on something too. I can't remember what day, but we got into a huge fight on the field or something. And Pat was like, "What did you just tell him?" I said, "I told him to kiss my." And then, like I said, we walked in, and then, you know, we'd all be getting ready for practice, and Pat, you see Pat in the corner, he barely got you working today? I ain't working today. Yes. They're in the freaking hot tub. Kevin gets a pool day every third day, and I'm still over here trying to earn my stripes.
Whoa.
This was a 2010 story. So Frazier got his feelings hurt on this one. But, you know, we weren't allowed to haze people anymore. And this dude refused to sing his fight song. That's all we were asking. And, you know, Frazier had asked me, you know, not make sure no one was hazing anybody or, you know, whatever, and which is so lame. I mean, come on. It's we're grown men. We're going to have to – you got to smack someone in the face sometimes. So we decided, okay, this dude, he's not going to sing a song anyway. And he was like he wasn't even a drafted guy. So we got him, tied him to the post afterwards. You know, Kevin and I said, hey, we're going to work on hitting, you know, doing some hand drills after practice real quick, pretending that we were, you know, being the good leaders we were. And we tagged him up. And I just remember Kevin's big old paw full of baking powder. Hit the kid in the ear.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we did.
Pat jumped off the Gatorade on him. While I was taping him up, and Frazier gave me that look of like, just, you know, a disappointed father looks at you, just like so.
Yeah.
So I had to grab it
because it was in front of everybody. All the media was there. The media, everybody was there. So it's like, hey, it's more than one way to skin a cat. Man. Like, hey, all you had to do was sing your fight song. That's all you had to do. He was hot about that though.
Well, I mean, Kevin's hand's the size of a catcher's mitt too, so you can imagine just.
I forgot about that.
All right, so '09 was the year that everybody talks about. Going into training camp, Sage Rosenfels and Tavares Jackson, they're, competing for their starting job. And then boom, in August, Brett Favre gets signed. So of course he didn't compete in training camp with you guys, but in training camp leading up to that moment, what was it like knowing that, hey, we might get a future Hall of Famer in here as our leader? What was that like?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. We knew we were good on defense that year. I mean, in the year coming up. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. We had some thoughts about offense, but I'm like, we knew we could play some defense, and we knew we had pieces on offense. It's just we didn't know we didn't have any security at quarterback. And I mean, just to be honest, I mean, we didn't. So, I mean, Brett came the week we got back, the last preseason game or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I mean, it wasn't. I don't know. It was just a different feeling when he came. I mean, you had a veteran guy that has won all types of games and been in every type of game you could think of. And I mean, that was the piece we were missing.
So I think 09 came, and you take it back to camp. We were coming off a division title, right? We lost the home game against the Eagles, which had no business losing that game. And so I think everybody was extra motivated, especially then we come back in, and people don't realize T-Jack had all the tangibles in the world, right? But we need more consistency. And then we had Gus. We had Farrat that year, so Gus was like the opposite of T-Jack. So it kind of played well together. He was the model of consistency, but didn't really have that extra special, that's going to improvise and get things done. So we go from we're not having that balance on offense to Sage Roosevelt, which we'd never heard of, and I don't mean that rudely, but it's just we had it. So like Kevin said, we had pieces. We had a hole on defense. Offense, we had pieces, and we're looking. You need that commander to get everybody on the right page. So training camp wise, we knew it was going to be how we won in '08. We were going to play amazing defense. We were going to run the heck out of the ball, right? And then we had Bernard. We didn't know what Percy was going to do yet. We knew Percy was special, but we didn't know what that was going to look like. Sydney, had all the potential in the world. Bernard could take it off the top, but we got to get people to get him the ball. And then Gretsch shows up, and I remember all of us glued to you had all pros glued to the window staring at this guy in awe. And that's what he did. A guy like that, great. He just raised everybody's, like Kevin said, man, it was a total different buzz around the building. I think our expectation went from we knew we were good to we expected to win everything.
All right, so we're going to end it with this. Everyone, just what was your favorite training camp memory? We'll start with you, Kev.
Driving home when it was over. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I went through both training camps, the actual 3-a-days and then these puppy love 2-a-days. So I mean, I don't know. It was all love. It was all part of the grind, and it was all, like I said earlier, part of us becoming a team. I mean, doing it with these guys, it eased the pain a little bit. I mean, going in as a rookie, yeah, it hurt a lot. It hurt a lot trying to, find your way, but figure out are you going to be a player or whatnot. But getting to do it with these guys, man, and the guys I finished with, it made it a lot easier to do. And I don't know. It was 3 or 4 weeks of dread and pain, but I mean, look at the end of the day, it was all worth it, man. We had a great time together.
I think for me, it's just like I said, when it's over, it's the best. That's the best feeling. But it's like playing horse in the pool. You know what I mean? Like little one-offs like that, or we have meetings after meetings after meetings after meetings, and you get a break. You go shoot. You'll play a game of basketball or shoot hoops, where everybody's just kind of clowning. It's that time you get to decompress, and you really get to know guys. You remember you're alpha males, right? So nothing's off limits. So probably my favorite times are in the training room, because in the training room it is just nonstop killing people, just busting everybody's chops, and so I think those are my most fond memories. Because being able to go from grinding, like Kevin said, and that's your work, right? That is absolutely work. It's your job. You're sharpening your skills to get ready for the season, and it sucks and it's brutal and you grind. We always just say, like, no one gets to complain, but everybody, you have to earn the right to bitch. And so the training room was all of our bitch sessions, and we had a blast doing it. We just running our mouths, having fun.
But you know what I'm saying? My best was when we had Jerry, signed Jerry. And then Jerry cussed out Coach Sears and he got thrown out. I say, finally got somebody that ain't scared of Coach Sears. I don't want to get off. I say, find somebody that cussed this dude out. Because Coach Sears just used to trip all the time. So we got Jerry there. It just made everything more fun. So I started enjoying it more. I got this crazy other guy with me now. So I just started enjoying practice more.
Well, why you ain't cussing him out?
Yeah.
That's old money.
I'm by myself. So Jerry got there.
Pat was having coffee with him every morning. Pat was in there having coffee with him. All right, Coach.
Hey, you that guy that talk noise when his friends are around, huh?
But finally got somebody on my side.
Nice, man. Well, this is a great conversation. I appreciate you guys, man. It's been a pleasure. Been a pleasure having you guys a part of the Vikings family. Stay safe wherever you are, and best of luck with everything.
Absolutely. Thanks.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, Gabe. Appreciate it.